my dear friends, this is Grace and welcome to another process video. This video is a little bit different as I am going to be sharing with you the process of how I put together this kit. So on the first day I put together my papers, and then on the second day I picked my pictures. On the third day I was able to type my journaling, and I do batch journaling when I do computer journaling. The fourth is I put together all the embellishments, and the fifth day I put all the tools and inks that I needed. So the reason why I did that was because I was participating at the Scrapbook Generation's Facebook group, and they had a what they call a progressive challenge. So every day Debbie, the owner of Scrapbook Generation, put together a challenge. So it was really fun because that's, usually when I put together my pages, or when I plan my pages, I do them all in one sitting. But it was fun to kind of do it every day and do a little bit each day. It just shows you that you can scrapbook a little bit every day. So here I am, I'm pulling all of the papers together, and this is going to be a two-page spread because I had a lot of photos, and this is also an event layout, so I like to do that with my event pages. And then one of the things that inspired me with the sample, because Debbie also she participated in a challenge, so she would show her example of the papers that she would use, and etc. And one of the things that she had was this shaped, well, not specifically this one, but she had some shaped papers from My Mind's Eye, and I have a few of them still. So I pulled out that bag and found this circular paper, and I thought, if this is the perfect time to use it, because I don't know when I'm going to use it again. And so that is kind of like my focal point. And unfortunately, because I do have a lot of pictures and items, that it kind of gets lost in the background, but I'm still happy that I was able to use up that part of my stash. And speaking of stash, all of these items are not new to me. They were all shopped from my stash, which is also another fun way of, or another fun thing that I did with this challenge. And so one thing that I love, having all of these items pulled out for me, or I pulled it out beforehand, was that I was able to print my journaling, and I was able to put it, or give that enough space in my layout, because sometimes I would just kind of do my journaling at the very end, and so I don't realize that I have a lot to say about this specific layout, or I had a lot to say that I had put in my blog already. And so having it already printed out for me, I was able to add it to my design before continuing, so that I don't have to mess up my design later on. So I just made some flowers. I knew that I wanted to play that yellow flowers on my pictures, and so I grabbed the yellow paper, and then when it was time for us to pick some embellishments, I wanted to, or sorry, to pick our tools, I wanted to use my flower tools to make my own flowers that kind of resemble the flowers in the picture. And because the embellishment part of the assignment was on the fourth day, I forgot that I wanted flowers because the tools was the fifth day. Anyways, of course I wanted centers on my flowers. So I grabbed my smallest punch, which is a Recollections punch. I think it's a 1/4 inch punch maybe. But anyways, I pulled that out because I punched some circles, some small circles from the black glittered paper that I had pulled on the very first day, and that was the centers of my flowers. So here I'm dressing up the chipboard that I had picked as part of my embellishment. The reason why I picked these chipboards, because I've had them for a little bit, and I wanted to just use them up. They're from Freckled Fawn. And then I also have this washi sticker book. It's from the Cedar Lane collection of pink paisley, and I haven't touched that since the last time I used this collection, and so I wanted to just pull that out. And I'm just dressing up some items. Now, because this is a washi, and so it's a very, like, the paper is very thin and see-through, so I didn't want that to be, I didn't want, I wanted embellishment to stand out a little bit against the chipboard. So I had added it onto the back side of a paper, which is, the back side is white, and then I just hand cut that. And then I added some of them with some foam adhesive to make it stand out a little bit. And here is a sticker book. It's a summer sticker book from American Crafts, and I'm just gonna add a few more things in there. Most of these items were already on my table when I was pulling the embellishments that I wanted, and I also wanted to play on that yellow, so my focus when I was picking items was yellow. And here I'm going to ink the edges of my yellow flowers, and then I'm layering that. So the punches, the two punches that I used were from Creative Memories, and I don't know if they still have it. I know that Creative Memories kind of changed a bit after they had filed for bankruptcy, so I am not sure if they carry the exact same thing still. Now here I just wanted to crumple my flowers a little bit just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I would put my thumb in the center of the flower and kind of push it in so that there's an indentation in the center, and then the edges are a little bit curled. And I usually do, I was thinking of doing two of each cluster, but because I had used the yellow pattern paper on as a part of my background, that I didn't have enough to punch 6 flowers from whatever is left on that paper. So I was able to do 5, which is totally fine. And then here I am, I'm using some stickers. It's an Echo Park sticker sheet, and that's going to spell out Isabelle. And then I'm going to grab some green stickers. I love these green stickers, by the way. There's just enough letters um, to stretch that out in a lot of layouts. I think I've used this in at least 5 layouts. I just love these stickers, and they are from Freckled Fawn. I usually I sign up for their um, email blast, and so when they would put out their what is it called, bloopers, where they would sell their kits for just $5 because some of the items in the kit are maybe not so, like, they're not perfectly printed, or there's a little bit of damage, and so I buy those bloopers when they come out, and that's how I get my stash of Freckled Fawn items, which I love. So I have this glittered cardstock. It is from Die Cuts with a View, and I had pulled out the Echo Park paper, or no, die cut that has this word wonderful. I love this die cut, by the way. It comes with the word wonderful, blessing, and dream, or dreams maybe. But anyways, and so I just love the script font of this, and I punched out, or I die cut 2. I'm not going to use both of them in this page, but because I had the die cut machine and then I had a little bit of extra of the paper, I figured I'd do 2, and then I just keep that the other die cut that I cut on a later project. I just stashed that in my die cut stash. So here I am ready to adhere everything. As you can see, I didn't have 2 colors or 2 papers of the particular backgrounds, and so what I did was I cut one, I think I cut it 6 inches. Yeah, I cut it 6 inches and by at least 11 and a half, and then I put that on the 2 opposing sides of the layout. So one on the left side, it's going to be on the bottom, and then on the right side, it's going to be on the top. And then I added the yellow, and then I also added this striped paper, also from My Mind's Eye, and then a border, already pre-punched border from SEI. And I really, again, I love the results of the challenge. If you know me, you know that I am a challenge junkie, but I love how the outside influence or inspiration helps me to think outside the box. Now, I do, prep my pages. I put together all the papers and the embellishments, but I usually do that at one sitting, but having to do that in a spread of 5 days, it just gives me the idea that if I'm really like stuck with, not having enough time, it's still feasible for anybody to be able to scrapbook at the end of the week. If you just take 5 minutes, it only took me 5 minutes to, put together papers one day and then pictures the other. The only thing that I would do next time is that, of course, I would choose my pictures first, because that's how I do things. Because I like to pull the colors of my pictures, pull the colors of my papers from my pictures. Luckily, I already had this event in mind, and I knew that when I printed, or when I was getting these pictures printed, that there was some pictures of the yellow flowers. I believe that's sunflowers, but I might be wrong. I'm not very good with knowing what flowers are. Anyways, so I knew that I wanted to do yellow for sure, and then I just picked some papers that kind of, could go well on there. And then I added my focal point photo with some fun foam that I have. One side have double-sided adhesive sheets, and then the other, it doesn't have any. And so I made sure that I added some adhesive before, on the one side it didn't have it. So I'm just sticking things around. Now, I decided to put the title over on this side because it has a lot of room. And then I noticed that after I'd adhered everything, my journaling, my embellishments, that on the top right of the page was a little bit lonely. Yeah, there was there's a bit of lonely spot there, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cover it in this video, but I do end up adding a little banner from the pattern paper, just leftover pattern paper that I have, and then a sticker. And you will see that in the final pictures. So I'm just kind of putting my items back on the page, sticking them down, committing to everything. And these photos are from a day trip that we did to a nearby lake. It's actually not nearby, it's a few hours away, but it's still within the state of Colorado, and it's really beautiful. And so here it is, the final photos and some details. And thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.